All right, fans, we're here at Lions Field, and we're about to meet the players in this afternoon's game. We're starting with the reserves from Princeton. We'll turn it over to our public address announcer to let you listen in on these lineups. We got you those lineups for each team announced, and we're ready to get this one underway. It's the Watkins Clippers and the Princeton Panthers back with the first pitch after this word.
Amateur baseball is one of Minnesota's great sporting traditions. The state tournament brings together hundreds of communities in late summer at great ballparks all around the state. Coverage of every game can be found on PrepSpotlight.tv. PrepSpotlight.tv's coverage of today's state tournament game is made possible by the Minnesota Baseball Association, and also with help from the Minnesota Twins. Celebrate Townball with the Twins on September 11th. Visit twinsbaseball.com/townball for details. Now let's get to the ballpark.
Underway here from Lions Field in Waconia. Game 2 here this afternoon, and the Princeton Panthers leadoff batter Jake Carlson takes a 1-1 offering and grounds it out to Carter Block at second for Watkins. So Watkins features a number of Geislingers in their lineup, including our starting pitcher. That's number 15, Matt Geislinger, the left-hander. He faces the Princeton Panthers. Number 2 hitter, chopper to third, and it's past the third baseman and out into left field. So a little one-hopper past Larson Geislinger. And we've got our first base runner of the game. It's a first pitch swinging Tanner Kinney from Princeton who grounds a base hit into left field. So quickly here, the Panthers who come in here today after winning their opening round game. They beat the St. Stephen Steves 1-0 to move on in this tournament to face Watkins. And Sam Archer, the catcher, steps in. He takes a called strike from Geislinger and one on the inside corner. So no balls and 2 strikes. Sam Archer, the catcher, bats third. It was Jake Carlson, the center fielder, batting first and grounding out. Tanner Kinney, then the left fielder. Base hit and a wave of a swing by Archer on a hard fastball on the outside corner, probably off the plate a little bit. But he gets Archer to expand that strike zone, and the first out is recorded, or the second out, first strikeout for Geislinger on the mound. He's got an entire left side of his infield of Geislingers, as Larson Geislinger is the third baseman and Nolan Geislinger is the shortstop. And the batter now is Grant Brickhouse, the right fielder. Left-handed batter takes the ball and then fouls one off and out of play to the left. 1 ball and 1 strike. Princeton got that 1-0 win to advance last weekend. And another foul back and out of play. The game took place over in Chaska last Sunday at 1:30. Scratched out a 1-0 win to advance here and get an opportunity to play the top ranked team from Region 11, Watkins. And here's a ball that spun just foul down the left field line. That home plate umpire, you could see him straddling the home plate, looking to get a really good look at it, and now there's some confusion. The batter says, what in the world's going on? He was halfway to home plate and then took off back towards first. Didn't realize that the ball was called foul. He was running right off the bat, so no way for him to know whether that ball landed fair or foul. But it did just land wide of the base, or wide of the line down that left field line. And so 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Grant Brickhouse. Brickhouse lives in Elk River currently. Went to Des Moines Christian High School and played ball at Gustavus Adolphus. So the 24-year-old Brickhouse takes a pitch off the outside corner, 2-2. Now swings and fouls one back and out of play. So the battle brews here between Matt Geislinger, the left-hander for Watkins. As mentioned, they were the top seed coming out of Region 11, so they got a bye into this second round of the tournament. Those teams that finished second through fourth, depending upon how many teams in the region and how many teams would advance into this state tournament. Princeton is the number 2 seed out of Region 1. Swing and a miss, so Matt Geislinger reaches back. You can probably hear the pop of the glove on that one. So after the 1-out single from Kinney, Matt Geislinger strikes out the next 2 Panthers and strands Kinney over there at first base, and we'll be back to Waconia with the lineup for you for the Watkins Clippers after this timeout on PrepSpotlight.tv.
All All summer long, you have gathered with friends, neighbors, and family at ball yards all across Minnesota.
Still going, gone! A home run!
Diamonds that decorate and help define hundreds of communities. Town Ball binds together our passion for baseball in our hometowns. And on September 11th, the cornerstone of Minnesota baseball, Target Field, will host a party for all those who play, watch, and support Town Ball. The Twins host the Royals at 6:10 p.m. Prior to the game, the newly crowned state amateur champs will be honored at the Town Ball Tavern and during a pregame ceremony. Wear your team colors and enjoy a special night at Target Field.
The 0-2 pitch. Strike three! Fairmont, state champions in 2020.
Congratulations to the Fairmont Martins. They are your 2020.
For tickets to the Twins' Tip of the Cap to Town Ball on September 11th, visit twinsbaseball.com/townball.
It'll be one of our three Geislingers in the starting lineup for the Watkins Clippers. It's the shortstop Nolan Geislinger, who leads things off here against Damon Rademacher of the Panthers. Rademacher lives in Princeton, 22-year-old, no college listed, so just out of Princeton High School. Behind in the count, 2-0, but then comes back with a called strike to Geislinger, who chops one foul down the first base line. That'll even the count here at 2-2 strikes. The Geislinger, nice of Watkins to wear the names on the back, but when the third of them have the same last name, still got to be a bit more specific in who they are. And this is Nolan, a youngster, just 16 years old. Plays shortstop. So one of the younger players that we've seen in this tournament takes a ball on the outside corner, so that's ball 4. And Nolan Geislinger is on base with a leadoff walk. And it'll be the catcher for Watkins here, Mike Haugen. He squares to bunt, pulls back. They're going to check, and they say he did go after it on the appeal to the base umpire. So no balls and 1 strike as Haugen looked to lay down the bunt and move Geislinger up, but unable to pull that bat back in time. And the strike was called. No balls and 1 strike. Now a curveball comes in at 0-2. Third baseman for Princeton there. Really creeping in halfway home, but now moves back because the 2 strikes, and now that throw is going to pull the runner off the base. So a little chopper out to Voss at second. He went to second base, but his throw was high, and it pulled the shortstop Dusowski off the base. So got to look and see. Likely going to be a fielder's choice, but then it's probably going to have to go on an error on the throw to allow Geislinger to get in safe at second base. So they thought about maybe turning 2, but can't get the neighborhood play there, as clearly coming off the base was the shortstop Dusowski. And Geislinger was safe out there at second base. So now runners at first and second. And yes, they did charge an error to the second baseman Vos. That runner to reach. And now strike into Kevin Kramer. And the curveball that just hangs inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. No sign of the bunt here from the number 3 hitter Kramer, and he swings and pulls it hard foul down the third base line. 1 ball, 2 strikes, so again they'll likely not go for the bunt here. Eden Valley Watkins High School representative Kevin Kramer, 26-year-old, 28-year-old. Veteran player, swings at one in the dirt. Geislinger's going to try to make it to third, and he slides in safely under the tag. So on the strikeout of Kramer, the ball got away from the catcher Archer there, enough for Geislinger to move up. So the strikeout is recorded with the runner at first base. They don't need to throw down there. But Link Haugen, really not watching Geislinger ahead of him, stayed at first base. The throw went to third. Hallbeck tried to make the tag, but head first slide by Nolan Geislinger got him in safely. And so now they do move the runner up. Even though it was on the strikeout, pitch was in the dirt. It just got away from Archer enough to allow Nolan Geislinger the chance to move up. And now here's a fly ball out into shallow left field. Geislinger's got speed. He will tag up. Here comes the throw from the left fielder, Kinney. It's not in time. Another head first slide by Nolan Geislinger. So off the fly ball off the bat of Dan Berg, Geislinger shows his speed as he takes third on the wild pitch on the strikeout of Kramer, and then on a ball that was not that deeply hit to Kinney. The throw came all the way straight through in the air to Archer, but again it was a fairly high throw, and Geislinger slid in, got that hand on the base, and scored the first run of our game. And Watkins leads this one 1-0 early here in the bottom half of the first inning. A curveball into Braden Ashton, the first baseman, is a strike on the throw. Link Haugen did move down to second base, so he is out there in potential scoring position as Rademacher misses away with a fastball. And the umpire called that a strike. Wow. I thought that pitch was well off the strike zone, but the call goes to there. No, the scoreboard just had it wrong. I thought that pitch was well outside. They had no balls and 2 strikes on the scoreboard. Should have been 1-1, and then on that swing by Ashton and a miss, it'll make the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Normally they're on top of things here at Waconia, but scoreboard not correct there. A little chopper to third. Hallbeck comes up with it, and now they're going to call interference on the runner, or that he was tagged out, and Haugen is down on the ground. So it's ground ball to the left of Hallbeck. He fielded it. He met up with the base runner, Link Haugen. Haugen continues to stay down on the ground. So a little bit of a collision between Hallbeck and Haugen. Haugen with the ball, or Hallbeck with the ball in his glove, was credited with the tag out of Link Haugen. So 5 unassisted is the put out there. But the catcher for the Watkins Clippers, Link Haugen, is now to his feet. But he's very slow to get up here, so we'll have to keep an eye on Link Haugen as he makes his way back to the dugout. See if he's going to be able to stay in this game. Good round of applause as he heads for the dugout, but we'll keep an eye out and see if Haugen can come out and work behind the plate as Matt Geislinger waits on the mound to take his warm-up throws. So it'll be back to Waconia after this timeout on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Celebrate the end of the 2021 Town Ball season. Join your teammates, rivals, and ball fans from around the state at the Twins game on September 11th. Special ticket pricing for Town Ball players and fans. Salutes to the newly crowned champs and a very fun night at the ballpark. Order your tickets at twinsbaseball.com/townball and wear your town's team colors to Target Field on September 11th.
That's a good sign here. Link Haugen is coming out of that first base dugout and will remain in the game. So a collision between the third baseman, Luke Hallback, and the base runner, Link Haugen. Haugen definitely took the worst of that one. Stayed down for quite a bit of time, but like most catchers, he shakes it off and he's back out there for the top half of the second inning behind the plate. And Matt Geislinger slings one in there, and it's shot fouled on the right field line by Dan Vos. Was Vos's throwing error in the bottom half of the inning that allowed Nolan Geislinger to reach safely at second. And he subsequently came around to score on the sacrifice fly off the bat of Dan Berg, and that's our one run in the ball game so far. 0-2 offering, just misses off the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to second baseman Dan Vos. Rips one foul down the third base line, but wide of the bag of third, so just a foul ball. At the bat of Vos, Princeton High School, 26-year-old veteran player. Lifts one high in the air to left, backpedaling, and reaching up is Justin Thompson to put that one away. So on the fly ball to left field. And number 1 is recorded, so since the 1-out single by Kinney, it's been a 2 strikeouts and a fly out to left off the bat of Vos. And a strike called on the outside corner on a curveball to the designated hitter, Jake Oakes. Swing and a miss by Oakes, so no balls and 2 strikes. Oakes also from Princeton, the 22-year-old. Geislinger misses wide on that 0-2 offering, trying to get Oakes to chase something. Oakes will actually bat for the third baseman Hallback here as the pitcher, Damon Rademacher, waits on deck. And a swing and a foul tip to the glove. Haugen hangs on to it. Third strikeout of the game for Geislinger. And Rademacher will step in. Rademacher, Princeton. High sky foul ball down the third base line. Drifting over, calling for it is Larson Geislinger, and he puts it away. So a very quick, efficient 1-2-3 top half of the second inning for Matt Geislinger. He will get his Watkins Clippers back into the dugout, trying to add on to a 1-0 lead. It's Carter Block, Justin Thompson, and Larson Geislinger to bat, 6, 7, and 8. Here in the bottom half of the second inning for Watkins, and back to Waconia after this timeout on Prep Spotlight.tv.
Town Ball Tour. Head to the small towns and tell people what it's all about.
A lot of excitement. Weather is fantastic.
This place has been here since the early 80s.
This is a baseball town.
The town is here. The kids are here. It's safe. It's a wonderful environment.
We certainly met some wonderful characters.
Thanks for joining us for another season of Fox 9's Town Ball Tour.
Here's the second baseman, Carter Block. For Watkins, they've got a one-run lead here early, 1-0. They scored in the bottom half of the first inning, kind of manufactured a run. Nolan Geislinger walked to lead things off. Was able to make it to second base on a fielder's choice ground ball by Link Haugen. The throw from the second baseman, Vos, pulled Dusowski off the bag. Geislinger moved up to third on a third pitch strike to Kevin Kramer, and then scored on the sacrifice fly by Berg. Curveball is in there to block. 1-2, and that one spins off the outside corner. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now to the second baseman. Number 6 hitter in the order for Watkins, Carter Block, and that one spins away. And Rademacher unhappy with himself there. You could see him gesture, and then he taps himself on the chest to his catcher, saying, "That's my bad location there." Comes back with a fastball. It's lifted out into right field. Should be no problem out there for Brockhouse. And he hauls it in. Wind blowing in here from right field. Might help balls out into left field, left center, but certainly going to knock anything down headed out there towards right field. So you can tell Brockhouse is not very deep out there in right. It would take quite the poke to get it up and over his head with the wind. And turning around a fastball is Justin Thompson. Hitting it hard right back up the middle for a base hit. So that's the first hit of the game for Watkins here. They were able to manufacture a run in the first inning without benefit of a hit. So each team now with 1 hit up on the board. It's a 1-out single from Thompson. Not a big lead over there for Thompson, and a curveball is on the corner for a strike to the third baseman, Larson Geislinger. And Matt Geislinger is standing on deck. And Geislinger tried to check his swing up, but fouled it back off the catcher, Archer. Umpire will walk that ball out to the mound. Rademacher meets him about a third of the way out there. He just wants to give catcher Archer a minute to compose himself. He took that foul ball. So no balls and 2 strikes now to Larson Geislinger, and watches that one spin away. These Geislers, I'm not sure if they're switch hitters or left-handed batters, but Nolan was a left-handed batter. Now Larson is a lefty, and then Matt on deck is a left-hander. Ground ball to first. It's gobbled up over there by Scheffel. He'll two-hand that one into his glove. Has just 1 play to step on the base. So on the play, Justin Thompson will move up to second base for Matt Geislinger. The left-handed batter here, Geislinger, takes a curveball in for a strike. But Matt Geisler is 28. Nolan Geislinger, the shortstop, is just 16. There's another curveball in for a strike. I'm going to guess that they're probably cousins or uncle and nephew. No ball, 2-strike count is grounded right back to the pitcher. Rademacher's going to run over and take it himself. So a 3 unassisted is followed by a 1 unassisted for the pitcher, Damon Rademacher, and not taking any chances by putting that ball in the air. Kind of like they say in football, when you throw the ball, 3 things can happen. 2 of them are bad. So he decides to take that one all by himself, step on the base, and end that bottom half of the second inning for the Watkins Clippers. So 1-out single is thwarted. Thompson got as far as second base, but they strand him there. We'll head for the top half of the third inning and back to Waconia with it for you after this timeout.
Celebrate the end of the 2021 Town Ball season. Join your teammates, rivals, and ball fans from around the state at the Twins game on September 11th. Special ticket pricing for Town Ball players and fans. Salutes to the newly crowned champs and a very fun night at the ballpark. Order your tickets at twinsbaseball.com/townball and wear your town's team colors to Target Field on September 11th.
And Matt Geislinger completes his warm-up pitches. Tyson Dusowski will start things off, the shortstop for Princeton. There's number 11. He lives in Elk River. Elk River does not have a town team, so some of these people from Elk River need to find a team to play for. And Dusowski, who plays community college ball at North Iowa Area Community College, will step in and foul one back after a pitch missed high. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Geislinger's got that ball. He's ready to go. Just waiting for Dusowski to step back into the dugout or into the batter's box. And catches the inside corner with a strike. Dusowski didn't like that one, but looked like a good pitch on the inside corner there. We've seen very good umpiring in this tournament. A little bit of controversy in our first game. And a line drive that's going to land in front of the center fielder Kramer. So Dusowski starts things off with a base hit. He fell behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes, but was able to fight off that fastball that was riding in on his hands and get enough of the barrel on it to lift it out into center field for a base hit. So the leadoff runner is on for Princeton. And the number 9 hitter, Gary Scheffel, will step in. See the lefty against the lefty if he squares. Does not. Swings away. Chops it to first. Backhanded play. It's knocked down. And a close play at first, but they get Scheffel. So a little chopper. Braden Ashton tried to backhand it. Went away from him. He had to underhand toss it to Geislinger, who was hustling down the line, and really the ball and Scheffel and Matt Geislinger got to the base all at the same time, but able to concentrate and pull it in. Touch the base and get the out at first was Matt Geislinger. So turn the order over to the top of the order. Jake Carlson, who grounded out in his first at-bat. Dusowski moved up to second on the play. Ashton had just the one play at first base and had to make a good one to get the hustling shuffle going up that first base line. So it's a runner at second now with one away. And pitch misses up and then away to Larson. So 2 balls and no strikes. Now to the leadoff hitter, Jake Carlson. The 22-year-old plays his ball at Bemidji State and takes a strike in there. Princeton High School graduate. 2 balls and 1 strike. Geislinger wastes no time on that mound. He gets that ball and he is on the rubber, ready to go, oftentimes just waiting for that batter to step back in the batter's box. And Carlson at 2-1 will request time as Geislinger held onto that ball, checking the base runner Dusowski at second. So Larson decided to request time, and it was granted by our home plate umpire. 2 balls and 1 strike. Geislinger from the set. Chopper to third. He's going to play it on 1 hop. Good throw across. So Larson Geislinger charged that ball, got it on a hop, make a good strong throw across the diamond to Ashton. On the play, Dusowski moves up to third. So that's important. Talked about early in this one at this ballpark, there is tons of room in foul territory, and there is tons of room behind home plate. So anything that gets by the catcher here usually provides an opportunity for that base runner to move up a base. And in this point, that would be the tying run for the Princeton Panthers here, as Dyson Dusowski is just 90 feet away from the plate. And a swing and a miss by Tanner Kinney. 1 ball and 1 strike. The first offering missed outside. Kinney singled in his first plate appearance. He currently lives in Malacca, but went to Princeton High School. The 24-year-old Kinney fouls one back and out of play, so Matt Geislinger ahead in the count here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He got ahead of Dusowski, though, and Dusowski was able to fight one off and line a single into center field. He is the base runner at third base. And really trying to throw that one through the glove of Haugen was Matt Geislinger. Kinney doesn't chase that one up and out of the strike zone. So we stay right here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There is a runner at third base, so you don't want to waste one too bad and risk allowing that run to come in and score. Chopper down the third base line, so Kinney just reached out and kind of slapped that one towards that third base bag, but it was foul past his base running teammate, Dyson Dusowski. And we'll try it again here at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Princeton trying to tie this ball game up. They're down 1-0. Watkins came up with a run in the first, and now fastball moves Kinney off the plate, and we go full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 hits on the board for Princeton, 1 in each inning here. Kinney was stranded at first after his single. Now after a leadoff single and 2 groundouts, Dyson Dusowski has made it all the way to third base, and Kinney trying to drive him in. Takes that 3-2 offering and fouls it back to the screen. So stay right here at 3 balls and 2 strikes, and the pitch misses inside. So ball 4 gets another base runner on the paths for the Panthers. And the catcher, Sam Archer, will step into the plate. Archer out of Princeton, lives in Zimmerman. 24-year-old catcher. We're getting kind of up there into veteran status. Not playing college ball anymore. Doesn't have a college listed now. Delayed steal. They're going to throw it to second. Now they got the runner. Dusowski hung up. So they cut the throw off to second, and Dusowski got hung up in between third base and home. So delayed steal. Kinney went for the delayed steal. Coming over was Carter Block. He cut in front of second base. The catcher, Haugen, threw it on a line to him, and Dusowski thought maybe they were trying to throw down all the way to second, was going to score on it, but the throw back from Block was a strike to Haugen. They got him hung up between third base and shortstop, and Haugen just ran him back to the base, faked the throw, which got Dusowski to hesitate a little bit, and then Haugen just ran him down and put the tag on him. So Princeton runs into an out there. They had their number 3 hitter, Sam Archer, up, but on the attempted delayed steal by Kinney, Watkins executes the first and third defense to perfection. The throw was cut off in front of the base. The return throw from Block was a good one to Haugen, and they were able to cut down the would-be tying run at the plate. So that'll do it for Princeton in the top half of the third inning. It'll be Watkins in the bottom half, and we'll be back with it for you after this from PrepSpotlight.tv.
Nobody does high school sports like PrepSpotlight.tv. Your home for Minnesota State tournament action is also where you can find the best weekly action during the regular season in 2021. We make it easy to be a high school sports fan at PrepSpotlight.tv.
All right, it's Nolan Geislinger, the leadoff hitter for Watkins. He's scored the only run of the game so far. Kind of helped manufacture a run. They got a little bit of a benefit on a errant throw by Vos, trying to force out Geislinger at second base, but then Geislinger showed off his speed, taking third on a third strike wild pitch that didn't get very far away from Archer, but Geislinger made it to third, then scored on what was not a very deep fly ball out into left field. Beat the throw on a head first slide, now lifts one out into shallow right. Easy play out there for Brockhouse. Comes in and puts that one away, cap high. And Nolan Geislinger is retired for out number 1. So Damon Rademacher doing a good job here for the Princeton Panthers, kind of settling down after he let the leadoff batter in this game come around and score. But since then, we have been scoreless. And Lincoln Haugen steps in. Haugen had an interesting, if you will, base running inning back in the first. He did not take second base on that wild pitch that trickled away from the catcher Archer. And with the throw going to third base to try to get Geislinger, Haugen probably should have moved up a base behind Geislinger there, but he didn't. Then did move up to second. And then ran into the third baseman, Hallbeck, on the ground ball that ended the inning as he swings and misses at the 2-1 offering, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. He stayed down on the ground for quite some time, but then got to his feet, made his way back to the dugout, and has been behind home plate and was part of that 2-4-2 inning putout on the shortstop Dusowski, trying to score for Princeton. There's a swing at a pitch well outside of the zone. Chasing is Haugen. It's in the dirt, but scooped up nicely by Archer. Archer takes a step out in front of home plate, so he's got a good throwing lane. Doesn't have to avoid the runner. Haugen hustling down the line. He fires a strike over to Scheffel, and that's out number 2. So 5 in a row now recorded. Make that 4 in a row by Rademacher after the 1-out single by Justin Thompson in the second, and spins in a curveball to Kramer. Kramer's the one who struck out on that pitch in the dirt. Got away from Archer, and Geislinger moved up to third and scored on the sac fly. Now the curveball just comes in and hits Kramer. Not a lot he could do about that one. Actually probably started behind him. because it was a curveball. It was breaking towards him. So really the only thing he could have done to get out of the way of that one was probably jump forward towards the plate, but he just kind of turned away and let it hit off him. So it's a 2-out base runner for the Watkins Clippers, who cling to a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the third. Kramer has a good lead. He goes on the first pitch. Archer's got a good arm. Throw to second. Not in time. Takes off the glove of the shortstop, Dusowski, but unable to advance to third as it didn't get all that far away as Vos from his second base position hustled out there and picked that ball up. Pitch was called a strike to Berg, so a good jump, good lead, and a good jump by Kramer. He steals the base. He's in scoring position now. Berg chops one out towards second. Diving play by Rademacher. By the time he gets up, backhands it over, and out is called. So Rademacher dove for the ball, laying on his belly, underhand tossed it to Scheffel, and they got Berg going up and down the line. Kramer took a big turn around third. He may have tried to score had the safe call been made at first, but our umpire rose up and punched out the runner Berg at first, and that'll do it for Watkins in the bottom half of the third inning. So we remain 1-0 for Watkins. We'll head to the top of the fourth inning, and we'll have that action for you after this timeout and a word from the Minnesota Twins.
All summer long, you have gathered with friends, neighbors, and family at ball yards all across Minnesota.
Still going, gone! A home run!
Diamonds that decorate and help define hundreds of communities. Town Ball binds together our passion for baseball in our hometowns. And on September 11th, the cornerstone of Minnesota baseball, Target Field, will host a party for all those who play, watch, and support Town Ball. The Twins host the Royals at 6:10 p.m. Prior to the game, the newly crowned state amateur champs will be honored at the Town Ball Tavern and during a pregame ceremony. Wear your team colors and enjoy a special night at Target Field.
The 0-2 pitch. Strike three! Fairmont, state champions in 2020.
Congratulations to the Fairmont Martins. They are your 2020.
For tickets to the Twins' Tip of the Cap to Town Ball on September 11th, visit twinsbaseball.com/townball.
Well, Sam Archer leads things off here. He's taken called strike two and then a kind of a wave of a swing at a fastball on the outside corner, and Matt Geislinger has his fourth strikeout of the game. It's a 3-pitch strikeout to Sam Archer. Archer looked at the first 2 pitches across for a strike and then kind of waved at that fastball off the outside corner. And now Brockhaus steps in. Strike on the outside corner. Brockhaus nods his approval that he agreed that that one caught the outside corner. So Geislinger throwing strikes here in this top half of the fourth inning. Curveball just misses low. Exaggerated follow through by Geislinger there. And fastball is up in the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. Big wind up and motion used by Geislinger. Puts that ball all the way up over the top of his head. High leg kick. Ground ball to second. Good fundamental fielding by Carter Brock there. Make it Carter Block. Glove down, hand on top. 2-hand that ball, come up. You know you got time from that second base position. Showed off a good arm, fired a strike over to Braden Ashton at first, and quickly there's 2 away. So 6 pitches results in 2 outs here for Matt Geislinger. And it'll bring up Dan Vos, second baseman. He flew out to the left fielder Thompson in his first at-bat, leading off the second. There's a called strike. That one's in the dirt, blocked nicely by Haugen. That's how you make friends with your home plate umpire, even with nobody on base. use that equipment, knock that ball down, keep it from hitting off of the umpire. They don't like when those catchers just kind of ole at those balls with nobody on base. So Haugen, veteran catcher for Watkins, knows how to make friends with those umpires. Swinging a foul back to the right. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. And another one kind of right back towards us here. Sitting right behind home plate at Lions Field here in Waconia, the Class C State Amateur Baseball Tournament. We're working our way towards a state champion. They'll be crowned in a game Monday, September 6th, noon, right here in Waconia. They wind up in a looping little soft liner into left field. That's going to fall in for a hit. So 2-out single by Vos. 3rd hit of the game. So Princeton has a base hit in the 1st, 3rd, and 4th innings against Geislinger. Did go down 1-2-3 in the 2nd. They've had a runner reach as far as 3rd base, but he was erased on an attempted delayed steal by Tanner Kinney, and Watkins executed the 1st and 3rd defense to perfection and cut down Dusoski at the plate. First pitch, a ball outside to Jake Oakes, the designated hitter, and then a curveball that catches the outside corner. So 1 ball and 1 strike to the designated hitter, Jake Oakes. A swing and a miss. Oakes struck out in his first plate appearance. Princeton High School product, 22-year-old. He's designated hitter for the 3rd baseman, Luke Hallbeck. 1 ball, 2 strikes, not much of a lead. And everybody was heading for the dugout for Watkins there. Catcher was about ready to roll it back to the pitching rubber, and the home plate umpire said, not so fast. I say that pitch missed inside. So even the count up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Geislinger from the stretch. Vos doesn't have much of a lead. Now fall back to the screen and out of play. Talked a little bit about how we've seen very good umpiring in this tournament. In our first game, there was a bases loaded ball that was hit down the right field line that just went foul. And everybody on the field for St. Patrick thought that the ball was fair. They let the umpire know their displeasure. The next pitch, that batter struck out, but with 2 outs, was picked up by the batter behind him, who lined a single into center field and scored 2 runs. And St. Patrick was off and running to a 10-0 victory in our first game here. Now 2-2, fly ball, center field. Should be an easy play for Kramer out there. He reaches up and puts that one away. On the 2-2 offering, Oakes skied that one to center field, so they get another base runner. Do the Panthers of Princeton, but unable to get him past first base. They've now stranded 3 and had a runner cut down trying to score on a double steal. And we've completed 3.5 innings of play. And it is the Watkins Clippers leading the Princeton Panthers 1-0. Fans, time is winding down to be part of the 2021 State Amateur Baseball Tournament in Waconia, Chaska, and Hamburg. Get out and support your community. Or if you just love the game of baseball and want to watch win or go home games at fantastic venues, there is nothing like tournament time. If you can't make it to the games, PrepSpotlight.tv/townball has all the games at affordable prices. Enjoy the tournament at the park or on PrepSpotlight.tv. So it'll be the first baseman, Ashton, out in front of a breaking ball from Rademacher. Chopped it foul. Rademacher ahead in the count. Rademacher made that great play off a little chopper off the bat of Dan Berg to end the third inning. He came off with nothing but smiles and a fist pump. And here's a curveball, kind of hangs up there for Ashton, and he lines it out into left field for a base hit. So Ashton just dropped the barrel of the bat on that one. Curveball kind of hung in the zone a little bit and allowed the first baseman Ashton to line it in between Hallbeck and Dusowski at third base and shortstop. And it's a leadoff base hit for Watkins. Bring up Carter Block. Expecting the bunt. They've got the third baseman Hallbeck about 2/3 of the way towards home plate, but Block shows no signs of squaring to bunt and takes a curveball in for a strike. So Block just on the inside edge of the grass now. And once again, Block does not square to bunt. Takes the pitch up and away for a ball, so 1 ball and 1 strike. Hallbeck continues to creep in from third, but now swinging a chopper foul wide of first, so that'll move Hallbeck back to his normal defensive depth with 2 strikes. Really, if Block were going to try to sneak something in here, a bunt down that third baseline, now might be the time to do it, although Hallbeck now creeps in even with the base. And there is called strike 3 on the outside corner. Block got fooled there. He'll walk back to the dugout shaking his head, but a good pitch on the outside corner from Rademacher. Gets the strikeout and the first out here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Watkins continues to cling to that 1-0 lead. The leadoff batter in the game, Nolan Geislinger, came around and has scored this game's only run to this point. As the right-handed batting Thompson swings and fouls one off out of the plate to the right. Thompson has one of the 2 hits on the game for Watkins. He had a 1-out single in the second. Made it as far as second base, and now there's a pitch that rides in and hits Thompson in the leg. So that pitch just kept riding in towards the front leg of Thompson. He showed no ill effects from that ball bouncing off of him, and he just trotted right on down to first base. So now that'll get Braden Ashton out to second. I have to say that I'm a little bit surprised that I haven't seen a pinch runner for Ashton out there at second base now. He's in scoring position. Ashton, the 27-year-old from Eden Valley. Kind of interesting. They have the college team listed in the program, and it just says JUCO for Ashton's college game as the ground ball is foul wide of first base. Curveball hangs outside to Larson Geislinger. Geislinger grounded out 3 unassisted to the first baseman Scheffel in the second inning. That did move Justin Thomas up to second base, but he was stranded out there. And there's a ground ball to second, and it's bobbled by the second baseman. No play. So Vos is going to be charged with his second error of this game. I think that ball was not hit very hard. So Vos trying to decide what he was going to do with it. It looked like he was going to make the prudent play and just try to take the out at first, but took his eye off the ball. So that's the 3rd error now of the game charged against Watkins, the 2nd against Dan Vos, and it'll bring up Matt Geislinger, the pitcher here. Bases loaded now. Just 1 away here in the bottom half of the 4th. Watkins looking to try to add on to their 1-0 lead. And pitch misses up. So 2 balls and no strikes. Rademacher looked like he took a little something off of that one, just trying to get strike 1 over against the pitcher Matt Geislinger, but kept it up in the zone. So 2 balls and no strikes. We'll see if Geislinger is aggressive here. He sure is. Rademacher went off speed very good pitch. It probably would have been ball 3, but I think Geislinger was sitting dead red there, hoping for a fastball at 2-0 with the bases loaded. Rademacher fooled him with a little slider at the back foot, and now another breaking ball that breaks in for strike 2. So right back into the count comes Damon Rademacher against his counterpart, pitcher Matt Geislinger. Bases are loaded, 1 out here. Geisler trying to look to put the ball in play, and he swings through, and they're going to check with the umpire, the base umpire. I'm not sure why the home plate umpire didn't just take that one himself. Clearly, Matt Geislinger swung at that pitch. So after falling behind in the count, 2 balls and no strikes, 3 straight breaking balls from Rademacher strikes out Matt Geislinger, and a huge strikeout for Rademacher and the Panthers there, as there's now 2 away, and the fielders can return back to normal defensive position. They won't hold the base runner Larson Geislinger on at first, and here's a chopper up to first. It's smothered, covered, and taken to the base by Scheffel. So on the 3 unassisted ground out off the bat of Nolan Geislinger. First pitch swinging with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Nolan Geislinger chopped one up the line to first. It was a fair ball, and Gehrig Scheffel fielded it, went to the base, and Watkins strands. The bases loaded in the bottom half of the 4th inning. So we'll go to the top half of the 5th. It's 1-0 for Watkins, and Princeton will bring up with 7, 8, and 9. Rademacher, Dusowski, and Scheffel when we're back to Lions Field in Waconia after this timeout.
The town ball tour. Head to the small towns and tell people what it's all about.
A lot of excitement. Weather is fantastic.
This place has been here since the early 80s.
This is a baseball town.
The town is here. The kids are here. It's safe. It's a wonderful environment. We certainly met some wonderful characters.
Thanks for joining us for another season of Fox 9's Town Ball Tour.
That's the pitcher. Rademacher leads things off with a chopping ground ball that's fair, just over the bag at third. And it's a leadoff single for Damon Rademacher and the Princeton Panthers. Once again, a base runner for Princeton. They've had base runners in 4 of their 5 at-bats here. Just went down in order in the 2nd inning, but they have stranded 3 and had a runner cut down at the plate trying to score. Now they get another base runner on here. And Matt Geislinger slings that one wide. Dusowski showed no sign of squaring the bunt there. Continue to keep an eye on the weather here for you. Looks like there's a little bit of a system coming this direction from the west. Oh, and here's a ground ball that hits off the pitching mound. And diving into first base, trying to beat the throw, and he's out on the 6-4-3 double play. So Dusowski hit a ground ball that looked like it was going to go towards the base at second. It hit off the pitching mound and deflected to the right. Making a good adjustment there was Nolan Geislinger. He sent it over to Carter Block. Carter Block's return throw over to Braden Ashton. And a diving attempt to make it to the base by Dusowski. You're really not taught to do that. You're taught to run through the base. But Dusowski, looking to hustle, tried to dive in and make it safely, was called out on the 6-4-3 double play, and first pitch swinging. Chopper off the bat of Scheffel right over to Ashton at first, and just like that, Matt Geisler and the Watkins Clippers are out of the bottom or top half of the 5th inning that started with a leadoff single from Rademacher, but he raced on a beautifully executed and turned double play by Watkins. And then the next pitch, Garrett Scheffel grounds out 3 unassisted to Ashton, and quickly that did it for Princeton in the top half of the 5th inning. So we're halfway through this one. 1-0 for Watkins. They will come to try to add to that lead. It'll be 2, 3, and 4. Haugen, Kramer, and Berg when we come back to Waconia after this timeout on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Celebrate the end of the 2021 Town Ball season. Join your teammates, rivals, and ball fans from around the state at the Twins game on September 11th. Special ticket pricing for Town Ball players and fans. Salutes to the newly crowned champs and a very fun night at the ballpark. Order your tickets at twinsbaseball.com/townball and wear your town's team colors to Target Field on September 11th.
Right, so here's Haugen. The lead things out. Oh, a beautiful bunt down the third baseline. There's nothing that Princeton's going to be able to do about that one. A perfectly placed bunt by Link Haugen. Kind of catching third baseman Hallbeck off guard there. You probably wouldn't expect the catcher to lay down a bunt leading off an inning, but what a beautifully executed bunt up that third base line by Link Haugen. And once again, Watkins has the leadoff base runner on with a base hit. It was Braden Ashton who led things out with a single, made it all the way to third, but Watkins stranded the bases loaded in that bottom half of the 4th inning. So now again have a base runner here with nobody out, and Kramer steps in. Kramer was up in a first and second no-out situation and did not bunt that time. So probably wouldn't expect to see him bunt here, although Hallbeck is in on the dirt at third base. So they believe that the number 3 hitter Kramer may try to drop down a sacrifice bunt. Didn't show any signs there on the first pitch curveball that missed. Now a swing and a miss from Kramer. Even the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, you can hear that wind starting to pick up a little bit here at Lions Field in Waconia. Now he squares to bunt, bunts it foul down the third base line. Really with Hallbeck charging and the first baseman Scheffel holding the runner on, I would think that you'd try to lay down that bunt up that first base line, make that first baseman field it, or make that pitcher go over and field it over at first base rather than trying to bunt it towards that third baseman who's in on the infield grass. Would have taken a really good bunt to get it done, but Kramer bunted it foul, so behind now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Oh, thinks about chasing that curveball off the outside corner, but a good job of holding up. Kramer, the 28-year-old. For college, they have him listed as D2. And that pitch misses low. From Eden Valley Watkins, so 3 balls and 2 strikes. Keep an eye on Haugen over there. See if they don't start that base runner here at 3-2. Does not go. Ground ball, it's off the leg of Rademacher. He slips, and by the time he picks it up, he has no play at first base. So a hard hit ball off the bat of Kramer. It kicked off the shin of the pitcher Rademacher, deflected off to his right. Had he been able to run over and grab it quickly, he may have had an opportunity to get the out at first base on Kramer, but he kind of slipped a little bit. Maybe his footing hit the rubber instead of the dirt, and so losing his footing, that cost him a little bit of time, and by the time he ran over and picked it up, unable to make any sort of a play. He faked the throw to first, maybe hoping to get Link Haugen to take too big of a turn off of second base, but Haugen's not going to fall for that old trick. He stops at second base, so now runners at first and second. And Dan Berg up, and again with runners at first and second, nobody out, and just a one-run lead. Watkins does not elect to lay down the attempted sacrifice bunt here. Berg swings away and chops it foul on the first offering from Rademacher. Hallberg is just on the edge of the grass, as is the first baseman Scheffel. Now stepping out is Berg. So with one strike, Kevin Kramer attempted to sacrifice bunt. Let's see if Berg does the same. Now a turn and a fake to second, so they'll try to keep Haugen a little bit closer over there at second base. Nobody out here. Threat coming for Watkins. And taking off for third. And it's a good pitch to run on as it was in the dirt. Berg squared the bunt, pulled it back. Haugen maybe anticipating that they've already tried one pickoff attempt at second, that they wouldn't do it again. He got a running start there at second base. Alertly, Kevin Kramer saw that, and he moved up to second on the pitch that was low and inside to Berg. So now runners at second and third. Nobody out. Berg swings and chops one. Foul behind the catcher, Archer. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now to the number 4 hitter in the lineup for Watkins. They've got something really brewing now. 2 base hits and a double steal. And they've got runners at second and third with nobody out. They've got a 1-run lead here in this one. Both teams with 4 hits. Berg got a hanging pitch there. Just couldn't get on top of it. Looked like he tried to wait back as long as he could and shoot that one out into that left center field gap, but just couldn't get on top of that pitch and fouled it back to the screen. So a little bit of a mistake there at 1 ball and 2 strikes from Rademacher. He's lucky to have that one back in his pocket, and he misses that one just wide. Rademacher takes a look in at the home plate umpire. He wanted that call, but that curveball, more of a 12-6 type of a curve rather than a slider breaking ball type of a pitch, and it just stayed wide. Princeton does have the infield in here with 2 strikes on Berg. They pull the infield in, so they'll try to cut any runner down at home plate on a ball hit at any infielder in the infield. Brockhouse very shallow in right, and there's a chopper foul, so staying alive at 2 balls and 2 strikes is Berg. We talked about that wind blowing in from right field, so Brockhouse is thinking that anything kind of looping out there, he's going to want to try to make a play on and maybe cut off a runner at home plate in Haugen. Not very deep in left and center field as well. And that pitch misses low, so a full count now to Dan Berg. Cleanup hitter for Watkins. He's trying to clean up here a couple of base runners out there on the base paths. He's worked the count full here against Rademacher. A swing and a miss. Rademacher wins that battle. And on a breaking ball, he gets Berg to swing over the top of it and gets a big strikeout. So the 37-year-old veteran Dan Berg goes down on strikes. He worked his way back into the count. He battled it all the way till it was full, but Rademacher wins that battle and gets Berg on the strikeout. Berg has the game's only RBI on a sacrifice fly in the first, so it'll be up to Braden Ashton, the first baseman. Ashton grounded into that inning-ending fielder's choice in the first, and then singled leading off the fourth and was stranded at third base. Another pitch that's up and away. Ashton, the 27-year-old. So a couple of veterans here facing Rademacher. Rademacher working from the stretch with runners at second, third, catches the corner with the curveball. So not afraid to go to that breaking ball behind in the count. Spins that one in for a strike on the inside corner, so really nothing that Ashton could do with that pitch other than to let it go and try to get a better one here. Fouls that one back to the screen. So again, Rademacher falls behind, 2 balls and no strikes, but works his way back into the count here. Has Ashton in a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Runners at second and third. They were there with nobody out. Now there's 1 out and 2 strikes on Ashton. And a curveball just misses inside. Another wry smile on the mound from Rademacher. But I think that pitch clearly was inside off the corner. So we go full now. And swing and a miss at ball 4. So Rademacher thinking Ashton might be aggressive there. 3-2 pitch. Decided to go up and away out of the strike zone, and Ashton chased it really with first base open. Wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world to walk that batter. But if you can get him to chase something out of the zone for the strikeout, that's even better, and that's exactly what Rademacher got. So after the first 2 batters reach on base hits and get to third with nobody out, second and third with nobody out, back-to-back strikeouts of the 4 and 5 hitters, Berg and Ashton, and now Rademacher will deal with Carter Block. Block has flown out to right and struck out looking, and a chopper foul back behind home plate. So Rademacher again trying to wave his magic wand and work his way out of another inning. He left the bases loaded in the bottom half of the 4th inning. So trying to strand 5 Watkins runners here in the last 2 innings. And ahead in the count of Block. No balls and 2 strikes. Rademacher from the set. Swing and a miss! So he strikes out the side after giving up back-to-back base hits to start the inning. Neither that left the infield, but nonetheless, they stole a base. Got to second and third with nobody out, but consecutive strikeouts of Bird, Ashton, and Block. And Rademacher and the Panthers strand 2 more would-be Watkins base runners. That's 5 stranded in the last 2 at-bats for Watkins, and they continue to cling to just a 1-0 lead here as we head towards the top half of the 6th inning. Matt Geislinger will stride out to the mound for his 6th inning of work, and it's back to Waconia for you after this timeout on Prep Spotlight.
Town ball tour. Head to the small towns and tell people what it's all about.
A lot of excitement. Weather is fantastic.
This place has been here since the early 80s.
This is a baseball town.
The town is here. The kids are here. It's safe. It's a wonderful environment. We certainly met some wonderful characters.
Thanks for joining us for another season of Fox 9's Town Ball Tour.
So Damon Rademacher waves his magic wand and gets out of another tight spot in the bottom half of the 5th inning, but puts a 0 up on the board for the Princeton Panthers and gets them up, trying to deal with Matt Geislinger here. Top of the order. Carlson, Kinney, and Archer for Princeton. Swing and a foul off the glove of Haugen. Carlson swung so hard it took his helmet off, but he just fouled it back and ticked off the glove of Carlson, so he'll retrieve, get it back to Geislinger. And a called strike. the leadoff batter, Jake Carlson, grounded out twice, once to second base, once to third. Now Geislinger tries to give Princeton a taste of Rademacher's pitching there and get someone to chase something off the outside corner. Goes back out there again, but Carlson's not chasing, so run the count full now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And a high pop-up, but I think the wind is going to push this one further and further, and it makes it just to the edge of the dugout. Larson Geislinger tries to reach up over the fence, but it just eludes his glove and gets out of play. That wind is really pushing everything, blowing in straight from right field, so anything over there towards that third base line is just going to keep drifting further and further. We talked about all the room here at Lions Field in foul ball territory. Larson Geislinger just kept drifting and drifting with that ball, but it finally made its way just enough out of reach of Geislinger's glove to keep Carlson alive, and Carlson fouls one back and out of play. So a good battle here between the leadoff hitter, Jake Carlson, for Princeton. Pop up in the infield. Carlson, unhappy, slams the bat down, and now a circulating circuitous route to the baseball for Ashton, but he does get there. Could have been problem with the base runner running down the line. Geislinger came over from his pitching position. Haugen was racing out from behind the home plate. It was definitely Ashton's ball, but he had to avoid the base runner, so had to work his way around Carlson going up the bag, and did just that and was able to make the play. Now here's a bunt, a good bunt by Kinney, but it kicks left on the first hop and continues to trickle just wide of the third base line and triple foul. Home plate umpire watching that one alertly the whole way. As soon as it got into foul territory, Matt Geislinger got his glove on it so that it couldn't hit anything and kick back into fair territory. Watkins is very fundamentally sound here. And that one's in the dirt. Check swing, blocked again by Haugen. He's had a tough day today. He's limping a little bit still from that collision with Hallbeck over at third base, and now blocking that ball with nobody on base here. So again, really making friends with that home plate umpire doing that. And here's a chopper foul as Matt Geislinger got in on the hands of Kinney there, but Kinney does a good job of fighting off that good pitch from Matt Geislinger, and he'll live to hopefully get a better one here at 1 ball and 2 strikes. And it's up and away. The left-hander Geislinger continues to hurl here for Watkins. That one misses away, so Kinney now has it to 3 balls and 2 strikes, trying to get a 1-out base runner here for Princeton. They've had base runners in every inning other than the second. Kinney with a 1-out single in the first. He was stranded at first. They had runners at first and third in the third inning, and Dusowski was thrown out on the back end of the front end of an attempted double steal. Good execution by Watkins on the play. A 2-out single by Dan Vos was stranded in the 5th. A leadoff single was erased on a double play in the 5th, and now Kinney trying to get a base runner here for the Panthers in the top half of the 6th inning. Fouls one back, so Carlson and Kinney really making Matt Geislinger work here. Another foul ball and out of play off the bat of Kinney. Home plate umpire signaling, I need baseballs, as both Kinney and Carlson are spoiling some of these pitches from Geislinger. Geislinger did win the battle against Carlson, got him to pop out. Another foul ball out of play, so umpire looks like he's got at least one more left in the pouch as he sends that one back out to Matt Geislinger, and another 3-2 offering coming, and this one is popped up in the infield. Third baseman Larson Geislinger comes over and makes a good running foul ball catch. So having to battle and scratch and claw, Matt Geislinger on 3-2 offerings after seeing pitches fouled off finally gets Kinney to pop out foul to the third baseman Larson Geislinger as he got the leadoff hitter Jake Carlson to pop out foul to the first baseman Braden Ashton. And it'll bring up the number 3 hitter Sam Archer. Archer in that 3 spot has struck out twice so far in this one. Both times swinging against Geislinger. 2 batters in front of him did their job. They made Geislinger work to get the first 2 outs of this inning, but now ahead in the count of Archer at no balls and 2 strikes. Matt Geislinger see if he can try to put Archer away a little more quickly, but a little looper out into right field, and going back is the second baseman Carter Block and makes the catch over the shoulder. So again, the wind helped hold that one up long enough for Carter Block to get underneath it. He caught it about shoulder high going back to his left. Once again, tremendous fundamentals by a Watkins player there. He didn't backpedal, he turned and just shuffled his way back to get underneath that pop-up. If you start backpedaling, you can trip on something, you can lose your footing, the ball can kind of bounce as you're backpedaling, your head bounces a little bit. So you're always taught to drop that back step and just kind of drift your way back, shuffle steps, and make the play. And Carter Block did just that for Watkins, made the catch, and it's a 1-2-3. 6th inning for the Princeton Panthers, and Watkins will step up with 7, 8, and 9 coming up, and we'll be back to Waconia with that action for you after this word from PrepSpotlight.tv.
Nobody does high school sports like PrepSpotlight.tv. Your home for Minnesota State tournament action is also where you can find the best weekly action during the regular season in 2021. We make it easy to be a high school sports fan at PrepSpotlight.tv.
All right, so the winner of this one will move on into the round of 16. They will join Dumont, Waconia, St. Patrick, and Young America, who have already punched their ticket to the round of 16 in this Class C state amateur baseball tournament. The winner of this one takes on the winner of the Fergus Falls Hurricanes and the St. Martins, who are playing over in Chaska right now. Haven't got any update or a score from that game, but right now we're locked in a good one here. 4 hits apiece, just the 1 run on the board. It belongs to the Watkins Clippers as they have their 7, 8, and 9 hitters, Thompson, Larson Geislinger, and Matt Geislinger, to face Rademacher. And the first pitch misses up, and now next pitch misses up. The fastball from Rademacher, 2-0. Let's see if he goes back to that breaking ball. And he does. Spins it in for a strike. So that's kind of been the MO for Rademacher. If I'm Watkins and I get ahead 2-0, I might sit on that breaking ball. Comes back with a breaking ball again, but that one hangs up a little bit. 3 balls and 1 strike. It's kind of been, the MO. If he falls behind, he kind of spins that curveball in. Now 3-1, he goes breaking ball. Gets Thompson to swing and miss. So again, another Watkins batter, probably thinking fastball in that hitter's count. And Rademacher spins that breaking ball. Now he spins another one in there that's lifted high into the air. Drifting back is the left fielder, Kinney. Makes the cap-high catch, kind of a nonchalant catch. He looked over at the center fielder, Jake Carlson, who was hustling over on the play. I don't know if Kinney looked at him and said, what in the world are you doing over here? I got this ball, no problem. A good hustle by Carlson in case somehow that ball would elude Kinney. He would have been there to back up on the play, but Kinney, as soon as he caught it, looked over at Carlson. Maybe said, good hustle, kid. Thanks for coming on over, but I'll take this one myself. Records the first out. Now a strike is into Larson Geislinger, and then the curveball kind of at the foot of Geislinger, goes to the backstop, even it up at a ball and a strike. And another fly ball into shallow left field. Kinney's going to have to come in for this one. He puts the stop sign up to the shortstop, saying, I'll handle this one as well. So consecutive fly balls to Kinney, and there's 2 away here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Now it's giving up the bunt single and the single off of his shin to Kramer to start the 5th. It's 5 in a row set down by Rademacher. And he'll face the number 9 hitter, Matt Geislinger. He got a big strike out of Geislinger with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 4th. And there's a strike in. So Rademacher continues to keep these Watkins Clipper batters off balance. He mixes that curveball in well and spins that one in towards Geislinger. That one hops up and goes off the bill of his batting helmet, knocks it off. But luckily, the ball chopped in straight down and didn't come up into the face area of Matt Geislinger. But now ahead in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes is Damon Rademacher. They continue here at 1-0, and that one slips out of the hands of Rademacher. He laughs that one off. Fortunately for him, it was a left-handed batter in the box, not a right-handed batter. Well, that one probably would have even gone behind a righty. And the curveball is swung on, foul back to the screen. Geislinger staying alive here. Rademacher, 22-year-old out of Princeton High School. Thought he had strike 3 there. He asked the home plate umpire, was it inside or was it down? And all the umpire did was shake his head yes. It was either inside or down. So Rademacher will take the explanation. The count goes full now, and a chopper right back to Rademacher. He's going to kind of have a race to the base. Matt Geislinger carried the bat all the way down the line with him. He wasn't really kind of going to give himself up. But the longer Rademacher took to throw that ball over, Geislinger kind of tried to pick up the speed a little bit, which forced Rademacher to pick up his pace a little bit, and he underhand tossed it to Scheffel, and it's a 1-2-3 inning, 6 in a row. Set down by Damon Rademacher, and gets his team back into the dugout, see if they can't figure something out here against Matt Geislinger in the top half of the 7th inning. And we're back with that action for you after this timeout on PrepSpotlight.tv.
All summer long, you have gathered with friends, neighbors, and family at ball yards all across Minnesota.
Still going, gone! A home run!
Diamonds that decorate and help define hundreds of communities. Town Ball binds together our passion for baseball in our hometowns. And on September 11th, the cornerstone of Minnesota baseball, Target Field, will host a party for all those who play, watch, and support Town Ball. The Twins host the Royals at 6:10 p.m. Prior to the game, the newly crowned state amateur champs will be honored at the Town Ball Tavern and during a pregame ceremony. Wear your team colors and enjoy a special night at Target Field.
The 0-2 pitch. Strike 3! Fairmont, state champions in 2020.
Congratulations to the Fairmont Martins. They are your 2020.
For tickets to the Twins' Tip of the Cap to Town Ball on September 11th, visit twinsbaseball.com/townball.
We head to the top half of the 7th inning here. First pitch swinging. Brockhouse lifts it high into the air. Center field, easy play for Kevin Kramer out there. So 1 pitch and 1 out for Matt Geislinger here in the top half of the 7th inning. Unlike the top half of the 6th, where Jake Carlson and Tanner Kinney really made Geislinger work to get the first 2 outs of that inning. He gets one out here in the top half of the 7th on one pitch. And it'll bring up the second baseman, Dan Vos, and he chops one off of his front foot. Rolls out towards the third baseman, Larson Geislinger, but the umpire quickly up and called that ball foul. So ahead in the count is Matt Geislinger. No balls, one strike. Vos, high fastball. Watches that one go by. Swing and a miss. Big swing by Vos on that hard fastball from Geislinger. And a swing and a miss. The Geislinger goes upstairs on Vos there and gets the strikeout. So 4 pitches and 2 outs here in the top half of the 7th inning. Five strikeouts now for Matt Geislinger. But that's his first since the 4th inning. Oakes fouls one back and out of play. Oakes struck out and then flied out to center. Takes a strike. So Oakes using that bright orange bat. Geislinger really reaches back for something there. You could hear him grunt after he threw that one, but it missed. Up and away, 1 ball, 2 strikes now to the designated hitter, 6th hitter in the order for Princeton. And slices one foul down the right field line. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Working away from Oakes here is Geislinger. And called strike 3. I don't think Oakes expected a fastball up in the zone there. Watched it go by and the umpire rose up. So back-to-back strikeouts of Geislinger's 6 strikeouts. 4 have been in back-to-back variety. He struck out Archer and Brockhouse in the first and now strikes out Vos and Oakes to end the 7th. So it's stretch time here in Waconia. We are through 6.5 innings of play. Hawkins continues to hang on to that 1-0 lead. And Rademacher will come out again for 7th inning of work. Be the leadoff hitter for Watkins. Fans' time is winding down to be part of the 2021 State Amateur Baseball Tournament in Waconia. Chaska and Hamburg, get out and support your community. If you just love the game of baseball and want to watch win or go home games at fantastic venues, there's nothing like tournament time. If you can't make it to the games, PrepSpotlight.tv/townball has all the games at affordable prices. Enjoy the tournament at the park or right here on PrepSpotlight.tv. And Nolan Geislinger steps in and takes a pitch way high that goes all the way to the backstop. And now it's 1-0 curveball, misses outside. So 2 balls and no strikes. Let's see if Nolan Geislinger hasn't been watching here. Ahead 2-0 if he doesn't maybe sit on a breaking ball, but nope. Rademacher changes things up. Comes with a fastball on the outside corner. Geislinger let it go by. As we've mentioned, Nolan Geislinger, probably one of the youngest participants in this tournament, 16 years old. Drills one out into the gap in right center. He's got good speed. Goes halfway and then applies the brake as Brockhouse did a nice job of getting over, cutting that ball off and getting it back in. Nolan Geislinger had every thought of trying to turn that one into a double, but he got almost halfway to second. You can see the mark in the infield where he had to slam the brakes on, and he checked in at first base. He had to scamper back quickly as Brockhouse came up with that ball on one hop and was able to get it back into the infield and hold Geislinger at first base with a single. And now Link Haugen tries to bunt one up that first base line. Again, we talk about the good fundamentals of Watkins. They've got the third baseman Hallbeck about 3 steps in on the grass, while the first baseman Scheffel has to hold the runner on. So Haugen attempted to bunt down the first base line, gets this one down, and out to play it is the catcher Archer. He makes the throw over to Vos, covering at first. Actually, that was the first baseman Scheffel, who stayed right there at his position, but the sacrifice is executed by Haugen. 2-3 will be the putout on the sacrifice. And on the play, it moves Nolan Geislinger up to second base. And we'll keep an eye on Geislinger. He's got really good speed out there on the base paths. We've already seen a steal of third base by Link Haugen for Watkins in this one. Not a huge lead, though, at second base for Geislinger as Kevin Kramer steps in. Kramer struck out in the first, was hit by a pitch in the third, was stranded there at second base, and then singled off of the shin of the pitcher Rademacher in the fifth, made it all the way to second base with nobody out. Had Link Haugen in front of him at third, and 3 consecutive strikeouts got Rademacher and the Panthers out of that inning. 0-1 curveball after a fall back to the screen is low. So Kramer now 1 ball, 1 strike against the right-hander Rademacher. 7 innings of work so far for the right-hander from Princeton. He comes set, and a line drive out into right center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. It's played by the center fielder on a hop, and the runner's going to get to second base, and it's going to be a double for Kramer as Geislinger came around to score. Kramer got that one out into the right center field gap. It was played out there by Jake Carlson. He spun, but there was nobody covering second base. The first baseman actually came over for the cutoff to the play, potentially at home plate, but there would have been no chance to throw out Nolan Geislinger, who came around third and scored the second run of the game. So Nolan Geislinger has scored both runs of this ball game. That one on an RBI double off the bat of Kevin Kramer. So Kramer, seeing second base unoccupied, took off for second. The throw was cut off by the first baseman Scheffel, and then it was just a race to the base between Scheffel with the ball in his glove and Kramer won that race, slid into second, got up, clapping, imploring his dugout, and letting them know that he has helped build this lead now from 1-0 to 2-0 here in the bottom half of the second inning. And Dan Berg will step in. Berg has an RBI with a sacrifice fly in the first inning, grounded back to the pitcher in the third and struck out in the fifth. So he's now got Kevin Kramer out there at second base. Curveball is in there for a strike after the first pitch low, so 1 ball, 1 strike to the right fielder, Dan Berg. 0 for 2 with an RBI, trying to pick up Kramer, who traded bases with Nolan Geislinger out there at second. Now the curveball busting in on the feet of Berg. All he can do is chop that one foul and back out of play or towards the first base dugout of Watkins. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Berg. Braden Ashton waits on deck. A check of the runner and then spins a curveball up and out of the zone. So 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Berg, one of these veteran players for the Watkins Clippers. Lifts one in the air to left. Kinney one-hands that one. Berg stayed back and tried to go the opposite way with that one, but it hung up in the air for Kinney. And out number 2 is recorded. Here in the bottom half of the 7th inning, and Braden Ashton will step in. Ashton, the 27-year-old. His runner and Kevin Kramer out at second base. It was his RBI double that built this lead up to 2-0 for Watkins. Matt Geislinger continues to put zeros on the board against the Princeton Panthers. They won their first game of this tournament 1-0. To advance to this one, the winner will play next Saturday at 11 a.m. in Chaska against the winner of Fergus Falls and St. Martin, who are playing over in Chaska right now. Try to get a score for you in that one between innings. Curveball misses to Ashton, so evens the count up at a ball and a strike. Rademacher holds, now looks and comes in and misses that one low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike now to the first baseman, Ashton. Singled, was stranded at third base when Watkins left the bases loaded. Fastball outside corner at the letters. Good pitch from Rademacher there. Even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 6 hits now on the board for Watkins. They'd love nothing more than another one. And stealing third base. And on the check swing, they say that Ashton went after it. And the catcher picks it up and tags him out. So Ashton tried to hold up his swing there but couldn't. Kramer took off on the pitch, easily had third base stolen, but it was strike 3 to Braden Ashton, and that'll do it for the Watkins Clippers here in the bottom half of the 7th inning, but not before they add one more run. They'll send Matt Geislinger out there for his 8th inning of work, now with a 2-run lead at 2-0, and it's back to Waconia for you after this word from one of our sponsors.
Celebrate the end of the 2021 Town Ball season. Join your teammates, rivals, and ball fans from around the state at the Twins game on September 11th. Special ticket pricing for Town Ball players and fans. Salutes to the newly crowned champs and a very fun night at the ballpark. Order your tickets at twinsbaseball.com/townball and wear your town's team colors to Target Field on September 11th.
So the pitcher, Rademacher, will step in, lead things off here for Princeton in the 8th. They've been stymied so far by Matt Geislinger. 4 hits on the game for Princeton, but they've seen their last 8 batters go down in order. It was Rademacher with the leadoff single in the 5th, the last base runner for Princeton, and he was subsequently erased on the 6-4-3 double play ground out by Dusowski. There's a strike on the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Rademacher. Geislinger hides that ball well, so he's got that motion where he takes his hands up all the way over his head. High leg kick, but he really hides that ball for a long time, and then before you know it, it's on top of you. Chopper out in front of the plate, going to be a tough play, but up with it is the catcher, Link Haugen. He makes a good, strong throw to Ashton at first. Little slight fist pump after that play. Had to jump up out of that crouch, and we talked about how Haugen has really taken a little bit of a beating here today. It's a couple of balls bounce off him behind home plate. He lost in a collision with the third baseman, Hallbeck, on a ground ball to end the bottom of the first inning. So showed no ill effects there. Hopped up out of that crouch and threw Rademacher out. There's good, strong breaking ball from Geislinger to Dusowski. A lot of break on that pitch. Caught the inside corner. Even the count at 1-1. Now he loses one in the dirt. First time we've really seen any sort of reaction from Geislinger on the mound. He just kind of dropped his head a little bit after that one. Knew he didn't throw his best pitch there. Pop-up foul back behind the home plate. Haugen limps his way over to take a look at that one. And it's well out of play. Over into the first base pavilion where people are enjoying a beverage and some nachos and some chips over there. So great venue here in Waconia for this state tournament. Sure, Chaska and Hamburg have nice parks as well. Out off on his front foot and well out in front of that breaking ball is Dusowski. Swings and misses. 7 strikeouts. Now for Matt Geislinger, and we're going to have a pinch hitter coming up for Princeton here. So it's going to be Ethan Beltran batting for Scheffel. Beltran, Princeton, plays for St. Olaf. His college ball takes a strike and then swings and misses at the next offering. So behind quickly in the count. And Geislinger just misses off the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes now as a little bit of rain starts to fall here in Waconia. Hear the pitter patter off the overhang. Swinging a foul back and out of play. You can see just talking about the people who are over in that pavilion enjoying a beverage and a little snack, and they're now scampering. Get underneath this overhang as Beltran fouls that one away. 2 balls and 2 strikes now as Geislinger misses off the outside corner. And to the windup, Geislinger check swing by Beltran. And it goes foul. Beltran checking with our home plate umpire to see if that maybe would have been a strike, but caught a piece of that bright orange bat that he implores. And a off-speed pitch is swung on and missed. So when Matt Geislinger strikes out batters, he likes to do it in back-to-back fashion. The 3rd time in this game that he has struck out consecutive batters. So 6 of his 8 strikeouts have been consecutive strikeouts in the 1st, the 7th, and now here in the 8th. So 4 strikeouts in the last 2 innings. And 11 in a row set down by Matt Geislinger. So we're through 7.5 innings of play. Watkins leads it 2-0. They're going to try to add on to that when they come up in their half of the 8th inning. It's going to be Block, Thompson, and Larson Geislinger when we're back to Waconia after this time
The
home.
town ball tour. Head to the small towns and tell people what it's all about.
A lot of excitement. Weather is fantastic.
This place has been here since the early 80s.
This is a baseball town.
The town is here. The kids are here. It's safe. It's a wonderful environment. We certainly met some wonderful characters.
Thanks for joining us for another season of Fox 9's Town Ball Tour.
Well, we're going to head to the bottom half of the 8th inning, and the catcher and the pitcher have swapped positions here. So Archer comes into the game to pitch, and the pitcher who pitched the first 7 innings of this one for Princeton, and Damon Rademacher will go behind home plate as Block lifts one foul, giving chase over there. Is the catcher, Rademacher. And looking down there to see who the first baseman is, see if we had a re-entry with Scheffel, and I think we do. So Scheffel, after being pinch hit for by Beltran, re-enters to the game back into first place. He gave chase on that foul ball, but it went out of play. It's like the rain has subsided here. Just a little sprinkle came down for a short period of time, but looks like that's gone past, and pitch is low in the dirt now. 3 balls and 1 strike to Block. So Archer, the new pitcher, takes over for Rademacher, who gave Princeton an excellent game here. He pitched 7 strong innings, and there's a strike on the outside corner. 3 balls and 2 strikes now. So Archer is full. Rademacher gave up just 6 hits and the 2 runs. Was not helped by 3 errors. And the curveball misses inside to Block, so a walk to Block. And they've got a leadoff base runner on. Five strikeouts for Rademacher. No 3 more important than when he struck out Berg, Ashton, and Block with runners at second and third and nobody out. And now here's Thompson. Takes a pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Now the runner at first and nobody out. Hellback is even with the bag at third, so this is seems like a bunting situation here for Watkins with the number 7 hitter up and a runner at first base, but Thompson swings away and fouls it back to the screen, so no balls and 2 strikes. Thompson 1 for 2 on the game, singled and walked in the 4th. Line drive into right field, diving attempt is made out there, not completed, and that ball is going to drop in, and it's going to be a double for Thompson. So Brockhouse came in on that line drive, made a dive, tried to make a diving catch on it. It just ticked off the edge of his glove, squirted away, and by the time he was able to get up and throw it in, Thompson was into second base. Going to third and holding up at third base was Carter Block. And once again, Watkins has runners at second and third with nobody out here, and this time it's in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Curveball is in there for a strike to Larson Geislinger. Geislinger grounded out to first, reached on the air, charged to the second baseman Vos. Once again, Princeton brings that infield in and then flew out to left in his last plate appearance. Strike called, and then a pitch inside from Archer. Once again, the outfield is also fairly shallow. They'll try to cut off any run at the plate. Geislinger really takes a long look at that one into the glove of Rademacher. He knocks it down and keeps it in front to keep Carter Block right there at third base, but now 2 balls and 1 strike to Larson Geislinger. Base hit down the right field line. That's going to get towards the corner. Geislinger is around first and slides into second with a 2 RBI double. So they have greeted the new pitcher coming from the catching position, Sam Archer, with a walk and then back-to-back doubles from Thompson and Larson Geislinger, both out into right field. And now Watkins has extended their lead to 4-0 here in the bottom half of the 8th inning, and that's going to bring a trip out to the mound from John Patno, the manager of the Princeton Panthers. A runner at second base. It's a no out, 2 RBI double for Larson Geislinger, the third baseman. And Watkins now has built up a 4-0 lead. You're going to get a pinch hitter here for Geislinger. It's going to be number 00, Heath Kramer. Kramer swings and misses at the 0-1 offering. So Kramer, the big right-handed hitter. For Watkins, down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Reaches out and just lifts that one foul on the first base line. Scheffel comes over, and he's going to have room to put that one away. Lots of foul ball room here at Lions Field in Waconia. So a defensive swing by Heath Kramer there results in a little foul pop-up down the first base line. Having to stay put out there at second base is Larson Geislinger. So turning it over now to the top of the order for Nolan Geislinger. He singled and scored. He scored 2 of Watkins' 4 runs here today. He's got a runner out there at second base. With 1 away here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. And a little chopper towards short. You're going to have to hustle, and knowing that he has to hustle, the shortstop, Dusowski, kind of got ahead of himself a little bit there. Well, he tried to charge another error to the second baseman, Vos, there, but that was the shortstop. They put an E4 up on the board, but that's going to go down as an E6. It wasn't very hard hit, so on the play, Larson Geislinger was able to move up to third base. Good jump there for Geislinger. The throw goes off the glove of the shortstop, so they were going to try to cut that throw off, as Watkins did earlier in the game, but the throw was so high from Rademacher that it tipped off the glove of the shortstop, and now the home plate umpire is going to go out and have a word with the base umpire and see if maybe they're going to say that Dusowski threw his glove at that ball to try to keep it from going out into center field. But I think the base umpire is going to talk the home plate umpire out of the call. He immediately called time like he was going to move Geislinger up a couple of bases for having the shortstop Dusowski throw his glove at the ball. But they say that no, Dusowski just lost the glove reaching for it. Now here's a pop-up that just goes foul in front of the Watkins dugout. Scheffel tried to get over there and make a diving catch, but was just unable to come up with it. So it's just a little foul ball in front of the Watkins dugout. Goes no balls and 2 strikes to Link Haugen. 9 hits on the board now for Watkins. 2 here in this inning. They've also been aided by an error charged to the shortstop Dusowski. There's 1 away. Link Haugen bats here. No ball, 2 strike count. And a swing and a miss. So Archer really reached back for something extra there. Blew that high fastball past Link Haugen. And there's 2 away as Watkins has put another run on the board in that discussion about the play out at second base. Coming across with the 5th run of the game was Larson Geislinger. And that's a big one, because that means now that Princeton can't tie this ball game up with 1 swing of the bat on a grand slam. And now time was called. Archer threw a curveball towards Kramer. Kramer didn't like that. He turned to Archer and asked, "What are you doing? Time was called. Don't throw a curveball right at me," after time was called. But good job by the home plate umpire to step right out in front of Kramer and tell him that it was a late timeout called and that he's got every right to continue on with that pitch. So that one also spins inside. Kramer's not going to give Archer the pleasure of having him look at him after that pitch as well. So that pitch counted, and it was a ball, so 1 ball and no strikes. Nolan Geislinger remains out at second base. Kramer, a great day at the plate for Kramer. Turns on one, hits it foul down the left field line, but that wind is also going to help push that one foul. Kramer knew it. He never even left the batter's box area after he kind of turned on that one and hooked it foul. So even the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Kramer a single, a double. Hit by a pitch in the third, so 2 for 3 in the game for Kramer. He's trying to pick up 1 more run, but a pop-up in the infield. Scheffel's going to call for this one, reaches up and puts it away. So on the pop-out to the first baseman, Scheffel, that'll do it for Watkins, but a big 3-run inning for the Watkins Clippers. Gives them a 5-0 lead, and they are on the precipice of advancing into the next round, into the round of 16 of this Class C State Amateur Baseball Tournament. They'll need 3 more outs out of Matt Geislinger. He's set down 11 straight Princeton Panthers to this point, and so he'll see if he can come out, finish this complete game victory. And we'll be back with that top of the 9th for you after this timeout on PrepSpotlight.tv.
The Town Ball Tour. Head to the small towns and tell people what it's all about.
A lot of excitement. Weather is fantastic.
This place has been here since the early 80s.
This is a baseball town.
The town is here. The kids are here. It's safe. It's a wonderful environment. We certainly met some wonderful characters.
Thanks for joining us for another season of Fox 9's Town Ball Tour.
It'll be the top of the order for Princeton. Jake Carlson. I'll tell you what, this Watkins team is going to be a tough out for anybody in this tournament. Very fundamentally sound baseball team. They run the bases well. They field it well. There's a big 0 in the error column under the Watkins line score, while there's 4 errors on the line score for Princeton. So big difference in the defensive execution of this game as Carlson looks at a strike on the outside corner to even the count up at 1-1. They've obviously got an excellent pitching performance from Matt Geislinger here in this one, as Carlson is kind of fooled by that pitch. Off-speed pitch in for a strike, so now 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Carlson trying to work the count. Hits a ground ball to Geislinger. A couple of shuffle steps and an overhand throw to Ashton at first is easily in time to get Jake Carlson. So on the ground out, 6-3. It's the 12th Princeton Panther who's been set down in order here by Matt Geislinger. 2 more outs to get to pitch his team into the round of 16. Face the winner of the Fergus Falls St. Martin's game going on over in Chaska right now, and he comes in with a curveball strike to Kinney. Kinney, ground ball to the shortstop. Again, Geislinger comes up with it, a couple of shuffle steps and a good overhand toss to Ashton at first, and there's 2 away here. 13 in a row now set down by Matt Geislinger, and he'll try to finish things off here against the pitcher, Matt Archer. Archer gave up those 3 big runs for Watkins. They were aided by a error on the shortstop, Dusowski, but a couple of hits in the inning and a walk. They parlayed that into 3 runs. And it's a line drive just off the edge of the glove of the shortstop Geislinger and into left field for a base hit. So Archer keeps things alive here for the Panthers. His sinking line drive just got underneath the glove of the diving Nolan Geislinger at shortstop. So it's a base runner for Princeton. A little bit surprised that Watkins will hold the base runner on here with the left-handed batter up. You'd think with a 5-run lead and a lefty, you'd want to close up that gap a little bit between the first baseman and second baseman, but they choose to hold the runner on first base here with 2 away. Top half of the ninth. Grant Brockhouse chops one foul back behind home plate. So heading the count is Matt Geislinger. Swing and a miss. Brockhouse unhappy with himself there. Must have been sitting fastball because that high curveball came and he was well out in front of that pitch. So now the Princeton Panthers down to their last out here. 2 away, top half of the ninth inning. And just swinging and getting enough of it to foul it back and out of play is Brockhouse. So Geislinger not wasting any pitch here. Ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Big lead over there for the base runner. Not sure why he would take that big of a lead with 2 outs and 2 strikes. And on the outside corner, called strike 3. All Brockhouse could do was nod his head and tip his cap to Matt Geislinger, who pitches the Watkins Clippers into the next round of the Class C State Amateur Baseball Tournament here with a complete game, 5-hit shutout for the Watkins Clippers. And they are going to move on to face the winner of Fergus Falls and St. Martin. That game will be played over in Chaska at 11 o'clock on Saturday, September the 4th. So an excellent pitching performance from Matt Geislinger. Watkins gets a couple of big RBI doubles off the bat of their third baseman, Larson Geislinger. Excellent base running, excellent fielding, just good fundamental baseball by Watkins here, and they're going to have a word with the player of the game, Nolan Geislinger. In fact, they're going to have 2 of them, and it's going to be the Geislingers, Matt the pitcher, Nolan the shortstop, and we'll let you listen in on this interview with the 2 players of the game.
I think there's a great storyline here. Nolan, couple runs scored. You're only a sophomore in high school, and you're playing out there on the big stage. Talk to us what it feels like right now. So when you're out there, you know you have everybody behind you and a lot of big names at Watkins, Geislinger, Kramer's out there. How does it feel? Does it calm you down, or do you feel like you got to elevate your game a little? Well, yeah. Awesome. All right, going to Maddie. Maddie, complete game shutout. You're no stranger to the big show. You had 9 strikeouts tonight, only giving up 5 hits. Talk to us about what the momentum feels like for Watkins right now.
I think we're sitting pretty good. We've got a really good defense in the ball.
Moving on to next week, what's the preparation going into Championship Labor Day weekend look like for these guys?
Let's just have a good time tonight. The rest of the week, prep up.
Awesome. Your players of the game right now, Matt Nolan, Geislinger, everybody.
All right, so that was a word from your co-players of the game. Nolan Geislinger, he scored a couple of runs for Watkins, drove one in. And Matt Geislinger with a complete game, 5-hit, 9 strikeout performance for the Clippers of Watkins, and they move on to the round of 16. They'll face the winner of Fergus Falls and St. Martin next Saturday. Talked about the good fundamental baseball played by these Watkins Clippers. They're going to be a tough out in this tournament, the top seed coming out of Region 11, and they will move on to play another game here in this state tournament. So we'll be back to Waconia to wrap this one up for you after this quick timeout and a word from PrepSpotlight.tv.
Amateur baseball is one of Minnesota's great sporting traditions. The state tournament brings together hundreds of communities in late summer at great ballparks all around the state. Coverage of every game can be found on PrepSpotlight.tv. PrepSpotlight.tv's coverage of today's state tournament game is made possible by the Minnesota Baseball Association, and also with help from the Minnesota Twins. Celebrate town ball with the Twins on September 11th. Visit twinsbaseball.com/townball for details. Now let's get to the ballpark.
Right back here at Waconia. This one's gone final. The Watkins Clippers come up with a 5-0 victory over the Princeton Panthers, and they'll advance on to the round of 16 in this Class C state tournament. We've got our next game coming up for you here from Waconia. It's going to be the Kimball Express against the Alexandria Black Sox. If you've got the package, make sure that you stay tuned for that one. If not, for our production crew here from PrepSpotlight.tv, from Lions Field in Waconia, it was Watkins 5, Princeton 0, and from Lions Field, we bid you a good afternoon.